The signal is screaming. Then it's gone. You're back with folklore stories. I am the archivist, and we have reached the end of the line. Charles is no longer in our world. He is standing at the workbench of the universe. In our last transmission, he fell into the void, pursued by the Keeper, only to be met by a hand of pure light. Every story needs an ending, but a true ending requires a sacrifice. The loom is hungry, the Keeper is waiting, and the weaver is tired of holding the thread. Don't blink. The resolution is about to change forever. Today's episode, the revelation. The fall didn't end in a crash. It ended in a breath. Charles landed on a floor that felt like solid starlight. Above him, the loom hummed, a sound like a billion bees made of glass. This was the source code, the place where the wind is woven and the first human scream was turned into a legend. Standing before him was the weaver, her body a shifting mosaic of every face that has ever lived. "You pulled the thread, Charles," she said, her voice sounding like a choir in an empty cathedral. "And now, the tapestry is unraveling. I cannot fix the story while you are still part of it." She held out a pair of shears made of absolute darkness. "To save the world, you must cut yourself out. You must choose to never have existed." But the shadow was done waiting. The Keeper burst through the star mist, a jagged nightmare of ink and obsidian. It didn't want the shears, it wanted to consume the loom itself. If the Keeper touched the center, the story of humanity wouldn't just end, it would be corrupted into a never-ending scream. Charles was the only thing standing in its way. The chamber exploded into a war of images. As the Keeper fought the weaver, scenes from Charles's life flickered in the air like dying moths. His first birthday, the day he found the map. The Keeper was eating his memories to gain strength. For every memory consumed, the shadow grew larger, and Charles felt his own mind turning into static. The weaver was fading. Her light was being smothered. She looked at Charles. Her shifting face for a moment became the face of his own mother. "The shears, Charles. Cut the thread. If you stay, everyone dies. If you leave, they live, but they will never know you were here." Charles grabbed the black blades. They were cold as the space between stars. He thought of the village. He thought of the world he loved, even if it was broken. With a roar of defiance, he snapped the shears shut. There was no sound, only a flash of white that wiped out the stars. The golden thread didn't just break, it vanished into a billion sparks. Charles felt a sudden, terrifying lightness. He was becoming a whisper. Across the world, the static cleared. In the glass village, the walls became wood and stone once more. Steve blinked, finished his sip of coffee, and frowned, feeling as though he had forgotten something important, but he couldn't remember what. The sky turned blue. The world was fixed, but it was now a story that did not contain Charles. But nothing is ever truly deleted in the echo. Charles found himself back in the gray valley where it all began. He was invisible, a ghost in the machinery. He saw hikers pass through the same spot, their compasses working perfectly. He was the silence in the gaps. He was the story that protects the world from the shadows. You might wonder why I am telling you this. If Charles doesn't exist, how do I have his frequency? Because I am the archivist. My job is to find the things the world has deleted. But be warned, the loom is always weaving, and the threads are always thin. Every time you tell a story, you pull a thread. Just make sure you know what's on the other end. The weaver has a new ending. The Keeper is back in the dark, for now. But Charles is still out there, listening in the static. Next time your compass spins, or your breath catches in a quiet room, remember him. The story isn't over. It's just waiting for a new voice to pick up the pen. Charles did what we all fear to do. He chose the world over himself. He is the reason the sun rose this morning. But remember, the loom is always hungry, and I've already found a new frequency. Thank you for tuning into the Weaver of Echoes. New series, new mystery, starting next week. Until then, watch your threads. I am the archivist, disconnecting.